It's a Ford. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Alright guys, so something we don't do every day. Obviously y'all know us for the GM stuff. Ain't that right, Peyton?
Yes, sir.
Dan is working on a 19 GT350. You know the plan for this one yet, Dan?
Probably not a work order.
He said there's a work order in the car.
He said there's probably not.
Oh, there's probably not a work order in the car, so I mean, we don't know what we're doing. No, this is Mr. Rivier's 19 GT350. We are going to do a 2650 blower, larger injectors, dual booster pump, and the labor fun part will be the oil pump gears with the sprocket. And then obviously a complete tune once we're done. The car is going to stay on 93 octane, so there will be no, if it was going to be an E85 car, we would do like a dual or triple pump in-tank system, but because he's going to keep it on 93 for now, the injectors don't have to be large, and we can get away with just doing booster pumps with the factory pumps. And all that means is we're going to add voltage to the factory pumps to help them flow more, and it's only when it sees boost. So it's not like it's giving more voltage to the pumps all the time when the car's running, otherwise the pumps would go dead sooner than later. So yeah, he's getting started on it now, and hopefully we'll keep you guys going through the build process because it's something different. The last GT350 we did was back in December, and we did a little twin turbo kit on it, clutch, fuel system, the whole 9 yards on E85 that made I think like 1,040 to the tires. Chad wants to keep it just a nice weekend toy, so we're not even putting headers on it this go around, just like I said, blower, a little bit more boost, and then all the safety stuff needed for a fuel system and the oil pump gears and the sprocket. So you know, I think we just baseline it. What did baseline at? Do you remember? Hey Nick, what did this baseline at?
That was 456.
I think 456 was the highest number we got, and then so hopefully we get it close to 650, 700 rear horsepower with some boost. I don't know, time will tell, so we'll keep you guys going, and we'll go from there.
Jesus Christ, Dean, you're not hot. I'm hot just looking at you. Pants, jacket, and a t-shirt.
Nice little get up you got there.
Turn the camera on yourself.
I be sweating balls right now. I bought cams and pro charger for it.
It's backed up pretty much from before I-10, the I-10 beltway, all the way.
I think we're ready.
Are we ready, Dean?
We're ready.
Because we're not ready.
You just watch the front, make sure we don't hit that nipple.
Never coming back. Like Janae.
I eyeballed. It's my eyeball micrometer. I told them it's a good 1/8 to 1/4 inch out.
Dan, is this gonna be faster than your car?
He said no. Not yet. If Mr. Rivier hears that, he's gonna say, I'll send it back in a couple weeks. This thing actually should be pretty gangster for a little street car. Superchargers on, pulleys on, belt is on. Looks good, bud.
Damn. Y'all don't have nothing to do?
Nope, we all came to watch you. We were waiting for lunch.
Well, let's go.
They said Chinese buffet.
You're not gonna eat that.
Heck no, I'm going to McDonald's.
You don't like Chinese food, or?
I don't know. I'll spend $10 or $12 for a buffet, and I eat $2 worth of food.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's sweet.
I mean,
Oh, we're using our brains now.
we're 2 inches short, 3 inches short. That's what she said. Let's go behind. Let's go behind this. I'll give you another ½ inch.
Oh, really? That might work. You can give me another ½ inch.
Dan needs another ½ inch. Oh, oh! I told you.
It's gonna rub around that pulley.
Yep.
Why you recording me, man?
Good morning, Nick.
You didn't ask for my permission, bro.
It's already Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday is Monday. We're on Monday vibes.
You get this thing warmed up.
A little bit. Just a wee bit, mate.
How's it looking?
Looking like your face. That's what it's looking
Pretty.
like.
Pretty and delicious.
Pretty dang good.
It's a Ford. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. So we have Mr. Rivier's 19 GT350 on the rack. I'm sure y'all have seen the build video so far. Dan did a 2650 Magnuson supercharger. We did larger injectors. Obviously comes with a bigger air box, and also car's running on 93 octane. So instead of doing a complete in-tank fuel system like 2 pumps or 3 pumps in the tank, it's really just like 2 booster pumps that are added to the factory pump. Or factory pumps, right? So the way we have it pulleyed, it should make, I'm guessing, between 10 and 12 pounds of boost. The car baselined around 440 to 450 rear wheel horsepower. My predictions before we started this was around 650 rear wheel horsepower. I did a little research last night, and someone claims around 600, in the 600s without with the stock manifolds and stock cats. They say usually you can break the 700 rear wheel horsepower barrier with long tube headers on it, and maybe without cats, or at least a high flow cat. So my prediction still stands around 650 rear wheel horsepower. So if we can pick up 200 rear wheel horsepower from just a supercharger, airbox, injectors, and booster pump, I think that's a gnarly package. So let's see what it does. Over 200 rear wheel torque. I mean, or sorry, 200 rear wheel horsepower, and over, golly, 470, over, what was that, 140 rear wheel torque? 130. God, this thing, GT350, guys, isn't a normal 5.0 motor. They call it the Voodoo motor. RPMs for days. I pulled it to about 7,900. I clicked it a little early, so it probably would have made almost 670. I hit the button a little early, but this thing will pull to 8,000 RPMs. I mean, it sounds so good. And now it actually has some torque. I know the torque is low compared to a lot of the GM cars we build, but again, it's a high revving motor. So when you go from a roll race, you want to be at least 5,500 RPMs or up. Otherwise, you're gonna get killed out of the gate. But dude, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. 200 rear wheel horsepower gain from bolting on, and it made right at 12 pounds of boost. So I was close. All right, you guys are still watching this video up until this point. As you can see, we are not in our normal vehicle that you see me build slash test drive. This is Mr. Rivier's 19 GT350. A lot of people ask, you know, the difference between a GT350, 5-liter GT350, GT500. The main difference with this GT350, obviously suspension and stuff is different, but the main difference when it comes to the power plant, instead of being a 5-liter, this is a 5.2-liter. They call it a Voodoo engine, so it's a flat plane crank that revs to 8,000 RPMs, which is just insane. And it sounds, so a few things. The exhaust note, it does sound different with the flat plane crank. This car in particular, we kept the factory manifolds, stock cats, stock mufflers. It does have from the factory, just like our GM stuff, you have like a dual mode muffler, so you can open the flaps and close them. So sport mode, to me, it sounds great. I put it in normal right now. You don't even hear the exhaust. Put it back to sport. Transmission, manual transmissions, where the 5.0s, you can get them obviously manual or the 10-speed automatics. Last GT350 we built, I want to say it was around Christmas time, and we did a twin turbo kit, complete fuel systems. We did, I think, 3 pumps in the tank, twin turbos, oil pump gears, the sprocket, and E85, and on crazy high boost, which I don't know what crazy high boost is. I'm gonna tell you, 18 to 20 pounds. We pushed it, I think, over what obviously these things are rated at. We made, I think, right at 1,040 to the tires. Granted, we had boost controller on it, so we had 3 different settings. So the customer drives the car around to this day about on the 850 to 900 rear wheel horsepower setting, and he absolutely loves it. With the exhaust sound, I will say the twin turbo setup with the mufflers that the customer had when he brought us the vehicle, it did sound funny, meaning it didn't sound like a V8 muscle car to me. This car, instead of going twin turbos, we put a Magnuson 2650 supercharger on it, which is very similar, almost the exact same Eaton style supercharger that we do on a lot of the GM Corvettes that you see us build, as well as the Cadillac CTS-V V3s. 2650, this car, again, stock manifolds, stock cats, so we kept it on 93 octane. Being on 93 octane, we didn't have to run as crazy of a fuel system because we're not running as much horsepower, so we just did a dual boost-to-pump setup for the factory pumps, and all that means is the factory pumps are still in place, the factory lines are still in place. Once the car sees boost, it gives the factory pumps more voltage to help them supply more fuel. That way they're not running all the time, you're overheating your pumps and killing stock fuel pumps. Sorry, I'm data logging as I talk here, guys. This thing is flashed. We do use HP tuners to tune these things. Again, 93 octane. It's a 55 pound hour injector, because on 93 octane, the 2650 supercharger comes with a large heat exchanger up front with a dual fan setup that I'm sure you'll see in this build video. But I drove the car to lunch, came back, and I threw the cameras on it because I want to take you off for a ride in this thing. It truly drives like a stock vehicle until you give it gas. And again, the sound to me versus the twin turbo car we did, it sounds great. I actually love the way it sounds with the factory mufflers on it. Now we put a long tube header aspirated and you go to roll race somebody, you better make sure you're above 5,500 or 6,000 RPMs when you stab it. Even with the room style blower on it, I got on it a little bit coming back from lunch. It picked up I think 140 something rear wheel torque, which again, huge gains from just bolting a blower on a car and tuning it. It still, to me, feels like it doesn't have the crazy torque down low like the GM stuff does. Obviously, bigger motors and smaller blowers for the GM stuff, right? So the way this flat plane crank works and naturally aspirated almost feels like a two-stroke for any motorcycle guys out there. You just wait for it to hit the power band above 5,500 and then it just puts you in the seat and does not stop. I'm going to turn around here and see if I can't do a little pull for you guys, maybe second, third. It wraps out so high, you get going fast real quick trying to get to 8,000 RPMs. And as y'all know, I drive a lot of vehicles every day, whether it's Corvettes, Cadillacs, new Ferraris, new Lamborghinis, new Porsches. I will say the first time I drove a GT350 on the first one we built, it honestly felt like a very fast go-kart. Very smooth handling, feels like you're totally in control of the car, making turns at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour that you would normally take at, 50, and it just hugs it. Like, this car on a road course, naturally aspirated or with this package on it, would be so easy, I think, to drive that your average guy can do it. I went ahead and turned traction control off just because I know this thing doesn't make crazy torque. And here in a second, I'm going to U-turn and we'll go from a second gear roll, which I'm sure will spin a little bit in a second as RPM climbs. But let's see what happens. Yeah, it really does sound good with the exhaust open, with the factory mufflers and factory exhaust. 8,000 RPM sounds so good. And with this torque curve, it does pull the entire time. Like the supercharger, with the low end torque that this thing, to be honest, did not exist on this car before the supercharger was installed. Now that it has that extra 140 rear wheel torque, 4,000, 5,000 RPMs, it actually throws you back in the seat when you stab it. Before, flat footed, and it literally just barely just start accelerating. That's fun. And this thing still has a factory clutch on it as well, so I kind of call this our stage 1 supercharger package, just because this is kind of the entry level on what to do if you want to boost a Voodoo engine like this on 93 octane. Again, if Chad wants more horsepower, the easy, costs more money, is doing 3 pumps in the tank, a real fuel system, putting headers on it, putting it on an E85, and like I said, the boost, I'd probably leave the boost about where it's at. We might spin a little bit harder, but with this motor, compression's 12.0, just like I think the 5 liter is. There's no need to go crazy on, sorry I didn't save that long. There's no need to go crazy on boost on these things. I think if we just put headers on it, this exact same package with headers, I think it would get us around 700 rear wheel horsepower, or at least right over 700 rear wheel horsepower. And then if he wanted 800 plus, that's when I would say we'd have to do fuel pumps in the tank, headers, obviously larger injectors, and then E85. And with the E85, that would allow us to run more timing. I mean, there's not much timing in this thing right now, and it's still making, like I said, 600, I think 75 rear wheel horsepower is what it made. This thing is just a blast to drive. It really is. Like I said, y'all, everyone watching Y'all know I'm a Corvette guy. I love Corvettes. It's been my favorite car my entire life. This car seriously does drive like a go-kart. It feels lightweight. You feel like you're in control of it. It doesn't go sideways. Again, even with the extra torque in this thing, I think your average consumer that's buying a sports car without being a complete idiot hopefully won't put this thing in a ditch. Chad, hopefully you don't do that. But again, anything can happen when you drive cars like this. Obviously first gear would be pretty stupid in it, but second, third, and fourth is what y'all saw me just do. Traction control was off. It just literally, traction control off. It spun just a little bit in second gear and dead hooked and just pulled. Pull over and check this log. So yeah, any of you guys watching this video that have a GT350 and looking to boost it, you obviously have two options: twin turbo, which of course turbo's super efficient. We do them all the time, whether it's GM or Ford. For this particular platform, you really can't go wrong either way. The turbos do obviously give you more torque as well. It just depends on what your end goal is. If your end goal is 650 to 950 rear wheel horsepower, a supercharger like this, no problem. If you want more than that and want to build the engine and go crazy, then obviously a twin turbo kit, you know, will get you those higher, crazier numbers. But this thing, a max effort build, depending on intake air temps, I don't see why we couldn't push this thing to 1,000, you know, with the correct internals in the engine. But let me look over this log and we'll go from there. So this car does have, obviously, the factory clutch. So if we did do our next stage, meaning headers, fuel system, E85, everything to get it over 800 plus rear wheel horsepower, that's probably when we'll recommend upgrading the clutch in this thing. But for now, it's holding perfect. Those shifts were right at 79.75. Next one I shifted it at 8,000, and we let off right around 7,700 RPMs, which is just insane to say out of a stock engine from Ford. It's really cool. And fuel system with the booster pumps we got, fuel pressure is holding just fine. Intake air temps with this heat exchanger and dual fans on it at the end of that pool still look great. Fueling looks good as well. So all in all, this is a pretty sweet little setup, pretty sweet little package that of course everything in this industry is expensive and costs money, but for what you're getting without spending $1 million, and you're not having a car, how do I say this, rocking at idle with a camshaft in it, or reliability issues, worrying about stuff breaking, this car right here, you could literally hop in and drive every day and beat the you know what out of it, and I don't see there being a problem. Again, if you're dumping clutches and doing weird stuff every single weekend, yes, you can burn the clutch up. Yes, you can hurt rear end stuff, but for your average guy doing what I just did, which is what most people do, perfect weekend slash daily driver car. But let me save this log and we will drive back to the shop, get it cleaned up and ready for Chad to pick up. Alright, I'm getting close to being back at the shop. As always, guys, if y'all are new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Those of you that follow our channel, I greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you out there that have a Ford, please give us a call, reach out to us, shoot us an email. Any friends of y'all that have Fords, whether the 250 or the GT350 or the GT500s, please share this video with them, guys. I would love to build them cars similar to this, if not a little bit more horsepower, or even just regular bolt-ons on a 50 Mustang. Leave comments below down, guys. Most of y'all that follow us are GM guys. Leave comment below. GM, Ford, or Dodge, since we've been doing some Hellcats here lately. So, which is your favorite? Which ones y'all prefer? And hopefully you'll see plenty more of all three of them on the channel soon. Until next time.